think.
With you on that.
Okay, we have um, one midnight give proof from the threshing floor, less than half a cob of wheat and a cob of barley. Rabbi Meir says half a cob and a half of spelt, and a cob of dry figs or manna of fig cake. Rabbi Akiva says half a log of wine. Rabbi Akiva says one quarter, a quarter of oil. Rabbi Akiva says one eighth. And any other produce, Abba Shaul said, sufficient to sell them and purchase with food for 2 meals. This measure applies to the priests, Levites, and Israelites. If he wants to save, he takes half and gives half. And he has a small quantity, he places it before them, and they divide it among themselves. This thing about the meals in the previous one, we've had this in another Mishnah also, when they talked about, I think, about providing food
Yeah,
for
so
right,
well, I mean, we had this in the context of an Erev, of how
right,
many
right, right,
how much food you have to provide for an Erev Chatzeros or an Erev.
right. Okay, Zion. They do not give a poor person who wanders from place to place less than a loaf worth of a pundum when 4 sides cost a seller. If he stays overnight, they give him a night's outfit. If he stays over the Shabbat, they give him food for 3 meals. He who has food for 2 meals may not take from the Tanakh. Food for 14 meals, he may not take from the Kupah. And the Kupah is collected by two and distributed by three. Okay.
Okay. Misha Yeshlo Matayim Zuz. So somebody who has 200 zuz liquid, lo yitol leket shecha or peah umaser oni. So basically, what you hear from the from the no is what you hear is the yes. So someone who has less money than that liquid, they are allowed to take leket shecha peah and maser oni. That is your technical definition of an oni in order to be entitled to these matanos. Hayulo Matayim Chaser Dinar, even if he's missing got 199. Okay, Afilu Elif, so he's got 199 on his person, and 1,000 people want give him cash at in one shot. They're all giving him in one motion. They're all giving him Maser Ani money. That
Uh,
that he's allowed to accept it, even though that's going to take him back over the threshold. Okay, and certainly if one person wants to give him 1,000 shekels, 1,000 dinars, he's allowed to take it because at the time that he's receiving it, he is technically an ani, even though the moment he receives it, he'll no longer be an ani. Okay. Hayu memushkanim lebal chovo. Let's say he had the money but he had a lien to a creditor, or liktuvas ishto, or to his wife. He's divorced his wife, and he still has to pay the kasuba out of the money that he's got. So he technically owns the money, but he owes it to somebody else. Hareza
so
he
this is the same as if a rich person comes to the house, but all of a sudden has no money, has nothing with him. So now he's considered
Right. We had
uh,
that. We had that just a few
we had
Mishnayos
that.
ago where he was on the road and he didn't have any of his
Right.
money with him. Right. So basically, it's what money you have liquid at the moment. If you don't have access to it, if it's in a fixed deposit, if it's in another city or whatever, you don't have it on you. That means you are technically a poor person at this moment. Hareza Yitzhak. Ein mechayvin osolim kor is basov is klei tashmisho. And let's say he has a house. So you say to the guy, listen, why don't you sell your house? Then you won't be an ani anymore. No, that's not something that we make somebody do in order to get by. Or his tools, right?
Yeah.
I think we see this. Excuse me. There was somewhere else where we had a list of all of the things that an artisan is allowed to keep. I think maybe it was in
Right.
Shikalim. I think it was in Shikalim, right? Wasn't it in Shikalim where we
It
said
sounds like it.
that if we force him to pay the Chati shekel, but we don't make him sell his kalim in order to do it. Okay, so his klei tashmish, so all of the tools. So let's say if he's a blacksmith, you don't make him sell his tools. That's his means of parnasa. Uh, um, so if he has, however, if he has luxury items, that mashma we do make him sell. in order in order to live by, and then he might not be able to claim that he's an ani. Okay. Mishnah test. Mishi yesh lo 50 zuz. Now here's an exception: is somebody even if he's only got 50 zuz, v'hu noseh v'nosein bahem, but he's a smart investor and he knows how to make money with money. Okay. Hareze lo yitol. He should not be taking money, or he should not be taking all the matanas la'aniyim, because he knows what to do with his money, and he being a smart trader, he knows how to buy cheap, sell expensive, and get himself back into a good spot. V'chol mi she'eino tzarich litol v'notel. Anyone who does not need to take and nonetheless takes, eino nifta min ha'olam ad sheyitzarech lebrios. So it's a rather chilling warning that the Mishnah gives, is that justice is going to catch up with you, because if you pretend that you need, reality will catch up and you will actually need. And conversely, v'chol mi shetzarich litol ve'eino notel, and somebody who is entitled to take tzedakah funds but nonetheless refuses to take, eino meis min zikna ad sheyifarnes acherim mishalo. So first of all, there are two brachas. One thing is that he'll die of old age, which is that's the best bracha you can give to somebody. Okay. But he will reach his old age in a situation where he will be mefarnes other people. ועליו הכסף אומר, ברוך הגבר אשר בטח בהשם והיה השם מבטחו. This is the guy who trusted in Hashem, and Hashem will look after him. וכן דיין שדן דין אמס לעמיתו. And similarly, a similar bracha is given to a judge who under difficult circumstances makes a true judgment, even if it's something unpopular. If he needs to say make a ruling against somebody who's politically powerful. V'chol mi she'eino lo chiger v'lo summa. And conversly, if somebody who is not disabled, right, he's not crippled or blind, lo piseach. Peah is chiger, is also kind of a cripple. But he pretends to be disabled, in order to tug at people's heartstrings and get donations, or to park in the entitled parking. Kidding there. Eino meis min hazikna ad sheyu ke'echad mehem. He will become he's going to get reality catch up to him if he does something like that. Shenemar. Now this Shenemar tzedek tirdof is going back on our judges who
Right.
okay, v'chol dayan shelokech shochad u'mates adin. And any judge who does take some sort of a bribe and pervert justice, eino meis min hazikna ad she'einav kehos. This will spiritually, this will affect his eyesight. He will because this is what the pasuk says. Shenemar v'shochad lo tzikach ki hashochad yaver pikchem. It will blind the wise. So I think, I mean, the pashtus of the pasuk is that it's talking about that if a person takes any kind of bribe, even though he thinks, oh, this won't affect me. A guy gave me a ride to the courthouse. I mean, that's not going to affect the way I'm going to judge him. Okay, but that's actually a shochad. So it's difficult to see something wrong in somebody that you like, and that's the thing of shochad. But here, what the Mishnah is telling us is that not only is it a figurative thing, but it says it's a literal curse on a person who takes a bribe, on a judge who takes a bribe. Anyway, Hadron Alach Masechet Peah and Demai. Okay, so just to remind us of what is the situation with Demai before we dive into the Mishnah. Demai is a halacha that was
I'm a
created.
little bit I'm lost somewhere because I still have. Okay, well they put it in one volume. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
My,
you're
my
in
mistake.
okay. So um, Demai is an institution that was created by Chazal. Um, Basically, the situation is that we have people take No, when you get produce, you're supposed to take truma, gedola, and give that to a kohen. Then you take maaser rishon and give that to a levi, and the levi is supposed to take his maaser rishon and take trumas maaser of that and give that to the kohen. Okay, and then finally you have to give either the maaser sheni or maaser ani from the remaining produce. Okay. Now, there was a problem that they identified in their time is that the Amei Haaretz were not very makpid on taking Maaser Rishon. They were very everyone took Truma Gedola. They knew that they needed to give Truma to the Kohen and but the stuff about Maaser Rishon somehow was not always there. It's not like, and it wasn't a majority of people, by the way. It was never a majority. Majority of people always did take Trumas and Maasros properly, but there was a very pervasive undercurrent of people. It's like a significant minority of people were not taking of Amei Haaretz were not taking Maaser Rishon. And once you're not taking Maaser Rishon, there's a portion of the Maaser Rishon that's also Truma Gedola. That's Trumas Maaser. And
Right.
that is asur for Zara to eat. And like asur bahana, not asur bahana, but it's asur uh, um and there's like a din of misam b'dei shamayim for a Zar who eats truma.
Right.
Right, so
Right.
that's something that you really don't want to get involved in. So the Chachamim made a din of Demai that any time that you acquired produce from an Amaretz, it doesn't matter as long as he's got the technical definition of an Amaretz, you have to assume that he possibly did not take a Maaser Rishon from it. Now the Maaser Rishon portion belongs to a Levi, but since it's a suffix, you don't actually have to give the Maaser to a Levi because let him come and prove that Maaser wasn't already taken. But the
Right.
Maaser portion that's the portion that we're worried about because that needs to belong to a Kohen. He needs to set aside the Trumas Maaser portion. When it comes again to Maaser Sheni, Maaser Sheni is something that you are not allowed to eat outside of Yerushalayim. So you have to redeem it and take the money to Yerushalayim. So you're also concerned about the Maaser Sheni portion, which needs to be redeemed and taken to Yerushalayim. But it's more makil than regular Maaser Sheni because it's a suffix. But nonetheless, we have to be concerned about the Maaser Sheni portion. When it comes to Maaser Ani years, again, we're not concerned because then we say, okay, well, let the Ani come and prove that this didn't already have Maaser Ani taken from it because that's just monetary value. So you don't have to
Uh-huh.
get rid of it. That's not the concern. The concern is really with Maaser Sheni because there you have a religious obligation to take it up to Yerushalayim.
So the Almaritz comes and you don't believe that he's taken
Yeah, you're not allowed to believe that he's taken it because that's what Demai means. Demai is a psak that was put on any produce acquired from an Amaretz.
so I assume that there's no problem if he did take it
Yeah,
and
so
you take it
you're taking
again.
it, so you can't take a bracha, you can't make a bracha on it because you don't know. So you're making an extra chumrah. You can only it's only a din lechumrah, never lekula. Okay.
So you can't make a bracha on it yourself because if he did take it,
He might have already taken. He might have already taken.
so we have to ask him then. And if we
No,
ask him,
no,
we
no, you can't ask him that. There's no point asking him that because you're not going to believe him.
so then you do.
Unless he actually tells you, no, I have not taken Trumas and Masters from this, then you say, okay, that you can presumably say, okay, now I can make a bracha on taking the Trumas and Masters.
Uh,
Okay. All right. However, there are some bits of produce some kinds of produce where we assume it came from Hefker. And once it comes from Hefker, you don't need to take Trumas and Masters. And that's what our first mission is about, is like Kalin Sheba Demai. The most lenient produce when it comes to Demai is Shisin, Rimin, Uzradin, Benos Shuach, Benos Shikma, Novlos Hatmara, Vahagufnin, Vahanitzpa. Okay. Whatever these species are, give me the translation of what these species are that are listed.
we have the wild figs, juba fruit, crab apples, wild white figs, sycamore fruit, unripe dates, and caper fruit. And
Right. And in Yehuda, there's the og is a sumac, right? and
Right.
and
Vinegar and coriander.
and coriander. Okay, all of these things
Coriander.
are not typically grown as commercial crops. If people have picked the fruit, they're typically coming from Hefker anyway. So we're not
Mhm.
concerned about Chumas and Maasros coming from them. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, or else if we can we can assume that like it's kind of a double suffix. Maybe it probably came from Hefker, but even if it didn't come from Hefker, most Amharites actually do take Chumas and Marshalls. Like I said, it's only a minority, so you've got a kind of a Sfex faker over here. Okay, but Rabbi Yehuda Omer kol ashisin peturin chutz mishel dufra. All of the shisin is the zeragat is like is that like coriander? Um, let me get the name of that species out of the translation a second. Um, Rabbi Yehuda says all wild figs. Beg your pardon. All wild figs are exempt, except for the dufra. Uh, and he says that there's that kind of species which could be, which is sometimes grown commercially, or by private owners. We call rimin peturin, and also jujube fruits are exempt. Chutz mirime shikmona, except for the ones of the place of shikmona, called benos shikma peturas, and all the young sycamore figs are also pater, except for the one hamustaf, was it those that burst open?
Right.
Um, because um, so that what this actually shows that they burst open, it shows that they have actually been curated, that they've been people have been looking after them, which means that that's a simon that they actually were grown by a private person, and that the fruit is actually liable to Chumas and Masros. But however, the halacha does not follow Rabbi Yehuda in this.
It says
Okay.
Dufer is a kind of fig tree that bears fruit twice yearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Let's go back
Let's go back. Where are we?
to
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Vav Gimel.
Um, Gimel. At the beginning of a row, the sheaf opposite proves if the sheep that he held to bring it to town was forgotten, they agree that it is not shikaka. And these are the beginnings of rows. Two began from the middle of the row, this one facing north, this one facing south, and they forgot before them and behind them that before them is shikaka and behind them is not shikaka. If one began from the beginning of the row and he forgot before him and behind him, that before him is not shikaka and that behind him is shikaka, because you shall not go back applies to it. This is the general rule. Whatever is included in you shall not go back is shikaka, and what is not included in the you shall not go back is not shikaka. Um, two sheaves, shikaka, but three are not shikaka. Two heaves of olives and carob, shikaka, but they three are not shikaka. Two flax stalks, shikaka, three are not shikaka. Two grapes, parrot, but three are not parrot. Two ears of corn, leket, but three are not leket. The remaining, according to Beis Hillel. These are according to Beis Hillel. Regarding all of them, Beis Shammai says three for the poor and four for the owner.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Brachas. Okay. Brachas.
Nice one.
And when Tavi's slave died, he accepted a
Oh, wait,
condolence for him.
hold on. Let's go back one. Go back to one to Vav.
Oh, yeah. Sure, we did that. All right. He bathed on the first night after the death of his wife. He decided to ask, did you not teach us, Rabbi, that the mourners were beginning to bathe? He said to them, I am not like the rest of the men. I am a delicate person. Okay. I got it mixed up with the one before that. And when Tavi, his slave, died, he accepted condolence for him. His disciples said to him, have you not taught us, O Rabbi, that one does not accept condolences for slaves? He said to them, my slave Tavi was not like the rest of the slaves. He was a worthy, kasha person. A bridegroom may recite the Shema the first night if he wishes to. Rabbi Gamil said, not everyone who wishes to assume the name may assume it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Mikvos. The following Bali Kari requires tefillah. If one saw a dribbling fluid or an opaque fluid at the beginning, he is tahor. In the middle or at the end, he is tamei. From the beginning to the end, he is tahor. If it was white and stringy, he is tamei. And Reb Yossi says white is like an opaque. If one to charge 6 drops to the member, he is a tamei. These are the words of Reb Elazar. Elazar, Kisma, if one had bad thoughts at night and rose and found his flesh warm, he is Tameh. A woman who emits semen on the third day is Tahor. These are the words of Rabbi Eliezer ben Arazariah. And Yishmael said sometimes it is 4 periods, sometimes 5, and sometimes 6. Rabbi Akiva says it always 5 periods. If a Gentile woman emitted the semen of a Jew, it is Tameh. For if a Jewish daughter emitted the semen of a Gentile, it is Tahor. If a woman had intercourse and she went down and immersed herself, and she had not cleaned out her house, as it was if she did not immerse herself. A Balkari who immersed himself and did not pass water becomes tamei when he does not pass water. And Yossi said, in the case of a sick man or an old man, he becomes tamei, but in the case of a young and healthy person, he is tahor. Okay, and we have Kalam. Yeah. And an oven that was heated from the outside, or that was heated without this intent, or that was heated in the artisan workshop is tamei. It once happened that a fire broke out among the ovens of Kfar Signa, and the case came to Ravna, and Rav Gamil ruled the oven tamei. The supplement of the up oven of householders is tahor, but that of bakers is tamei because he supports to spit on it. Rabbi Yochanan Hansanla says because he bakes with it, and when he is hard pressed. Similarly, the supplement of the cauldron of olives is boilers is tamei, and that of dyes is tahor. And an oven that was filled up to with earth up to its midpoint, the area from the earth and downward contracts tuma via contact. The area from the earth and upward contracts tuma via air space. In one place, an oven over the mouth of a pit or over the mouth of a cistern, and place a stone there. Rabbi Yehuda says if he lights a fire below and the oven is heated above, it is tamei. But if the comments say since in any event the oven was heated, it is tamei. Okay.
Okay.
Bye. On one who sells an olive press has sold the grinding block, the millstone, and the posts, but he has not sold the boards, the screw, or the beam. When he said to him, "It is it, and all is that is in it, and they are all sold." Rav Eliezer said, "One who sells an olive press has sold the beam. One who sells a bathhouse has not sold the boards, the benches, or the curtains." When he said to him, "It and all that is in it, they are all sold in any case," he did not sell the water reserves nor the stores of wood. And one who sells a town has sold the houses, the pits, the ditches, the vaults, the bathhouses, dovecotes, olive presses, and irrigated fields, but not the movables. When he said to them, "It is it and all of it that is in it, even if there were not cattle and slaves in it, they were all sold." Rabbi Shimon Gamil says one who sells a town has sold the end century, sold the century. And we have Yoma. Seven days before Yom Kippur, they sequestered this cousin Kohen Gadol from his house to the official's chamber, and they prepare another Kohen to serve as a substitute, lest he become disqualified. Rabbi Yehuda says they also prepare another wife for him, lest his wife die, for it is said, and he shall make atonement for himself and his house that is his wife. They said to him, if so, there is no end to the matter. On all of these 7 days, he throws the blood, burns the incense, prepares the lamps, and offers the head and the hind leg. On all the other days of the year, he wishes to offer any sacrifice, and may offer it. For the Kohen Gadol has on the first night to offer, and the first right to take a portion. They provide him sages from among the sages of the court who read to him about the service of the day. They then say to him, "My Lord Kohen Gadol, read with your own mouth. Perhaps you have forgotten, and perhaps you have not learned." On the morning of the eve of Yom Kippur, they stand him at the eastern gate, and they lead before him oxen, rams, and sheep, that he should recognize them and should be conversant in the service. Okay.
Okay, and we're done.
Okay, good call. Gotcha. Okay, bye-bye.
Good Kodesh.